Good morning, UC Davis yoga people. My name is Linda Nueva, and I am a certified Iyengar Yoga teacher. Today's sequence is to help you on days when the air is not so good. And we've had quite a few of those days lately. So let me show you the props that we'll be using for today's class, and then we'll get started. If you have 2 blocks, take them out. An alternative to blocks would be to get 2 books of relatively the same size. I've got a dowel. You can also use a broom or a mop. And instead of a blanket, today I've got a sheet and I've folded it neatly to make a nice little square. Sit on top of your block or your blanket in an easy cross-legged position. Cross the shins right in the middle with the right leg in front. Let the lower part of the body be heavy. Take the palms, press them on the tops of the thighs, and feel to see that the shoulders are right above the hips. Palms to Anjali Mudra. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears, and gently close the eyes as you ascend through the crown of the head. 3 ohms together to begin our practice. Take note of how you're feeling. Bring your attention to the luminous space within. Release the head to the heart. Release the back of the palms to the top of the thighs, and gently lift the face. Take the sheet. I'm going to open it just once, and I'm going to take the wide crease of the sheet behind my knees in child's pose. So we're going to start with a supported child's pose. Bring the feet together, bring the toes together. I'm placing the sheet all the way back to the back of the knee joint. If you feel like you need more support, you can take a pillow or a bolster from your couch. So before I go into child's pose, I'm placing my hand on the back of my back ribs. And this is just the area that we want to bring attention to in the poses to come. Hands forward, buttocks to heel, forehead to either the floor or in the alternative, place the head on the block. If you're suffering from depression, bring the block up and place the chin on the block like so. So you have 3 options. Forehead on floor, forehead on block, chin on top of block with a gentle looking up in case of depression. Everyone, lift those elbows, so don't sink the elbows towards the floor. Dynamic arms. Bring the attention to the back ribs
And see if you can get a horizontal spread across the sides of the back and create more length in the back ribs. Press the palms into the floor, buttocks to heels. What kind of extension can you get in the spine? So, supported child's pose. You can stay in this pose anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes. The next pose for days when the air quality is not so good is revolved child's pose. So I'm going to place the block right in front of me. The sheet is still behind my knee joint and on top of my ankles. Again, you can take a blanket, you can take a pillow. So if you're up here and this is as far as the buttocks will come back, take the support you need to keep that connection between the buttocks and the heels. So I'm coming forward and I'm threading the right arm through and I'm placing the right ear on top of the block. My left hand is underneath my arm and it's bent. So the first thing is, what are you feeling? Curl the right fingertips so that the fingers are soft and that the arm is both stretching, but there's no strain. Can you feel what's going on in the right outer shoulder? Now, with this left hand, press the fingertips into the floor and then see if you can bring the right side ribs. The right side ribs revolve towards the left. The right side ribs revolve to the left and the right ear rested on the block. Relax the fingertips. Maintain the connection between the buttocks and the heels. After a minute or so of being here, you can negotiate and play with the pose a little bit. Can you bring the right arm farther to the right, or are you happy where you are? And an exhalation, gently unfurl from the pose. And now we'll take the pose to the left, so I will be turning away from you. Block in front. Knees wide. Keep the alignment the whole time of the pose. Come forwards. Thread the left arm through. You can see it from the other side. Left ear on the block. Curl the left fingertips so that the fingertips are soft and receptive. Press the right fingertips down so that the left side ribs. There's a gentle revolving action between the left side ribs and moving them towards the right. Observe the breath. Inhale, come up. Take the block away. Take the sheet or the blanket out from underneath the thighs. Get your broom handle or your mop handle and come on into mountain pose in the center of your mat. You can keep the feet together or hip width apart. Your choice. Dig the heels into the mat so that you feel the kneecaps lift up and the whole entirety of the thigh all of the quadriceps lifting up to the hips. Hold the mop handle in front of you, and you can take the hands as wide as you need to. And on an inhalation, lift the arms up over the head so that you feel an opening in the armpits. And let the exhalation determine just how far of an arc. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see just how much of an arc you need to take. So your back of your arc may only go, maybe you can choose. Are you going to do the full arc or a partial arc? Either is fine. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Let's do 5 of these motions together with our breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring the arms back. Let the exhalation determine just how far that arc is going to be. One. Two. No, almost 2. 2. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3. 4. And 5. On the end of the 5th one, lift the broom, lift the mop handle or dowel over the head, place that handle between the thumb and the index finger, dig those heels down again, and feel an extension of either sides of the spine. So the sides of the torso are lifting, the abdomen is lifting, and the armpits are open. I'm mirroring you. Extend just a little bit towards the right so you feel an opening in the side ribs. Gentle opening in the side ribs. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down and get extension on the left side ribs. Keep your mountain pose. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Our next pose is, and I'm going to say it slow, in Sanskrit, so you know it, Gomukhasana. Let's say it together. Gomukhasana. Gomukhasana is cow-faced pose, and it's great for the whole shoulder girdle, and it's great for the armpits and the sides of the waist. Today we'll do Gomukhasana, cow-faced pose, with your dowel. Let me show you at the back. Let me show you what that's going to look like. I'm placing the stick behind my back. Got my right arm up and my left arm down. I'm going to turn away from you so you can see. I've got the stick in line with my sacrum and the back of my head. So it actually feels like the back of my skull is moving back slightly. Can you feel that along your spine? So again, I am mirroring you, and the stick is following my spine all the way from the sacrum, and it's even bringing the back of my skull back. Inhale, lift the right arm up, bend the elbow, crawl the right fingers down, and bring the right elbow so that it points towards the ceiling. Take the left arm, swing it around, and place it to a comfortable side on the back. I'm going to turn around again so you can see what this looks like. The back of the skull slightly comes back. So for today's sequence, I'm less concerned about how far the arms come up and more concerned about the opening of the right armpit and the downward long extension of the left arm. Bring your attention to the moment. Plant the back of the heels into the floor. And repeat the leg actions of mountain pose. Right elbow points up and the front of the left arm is long. Let the right armpit open up. Let the right sides of the waist open up. And create a gentle lengthening action in the front of the left arm. Release the right arm and take it to the stick. Reestablish your alignment with the stick. Again, I'm going to turn around. You'll see it's in line with my sacrum. And I'm tapping the back of my skull. It's also in line with the back of my skull. Mountain pose. So this time, the left arm is going to be the up arm, and the right arm is going to be the down arm. Find your alignment with your mop handle, whatever it may be, before we get the arm action going. Inhale, take the left arm up, yes. Open the left side waist, open the left armpit, bend the left elbow, point the left elbow up to the ceiling, and crawl the left fingertips down the back. Take the right hand out to the side, swing it around, and take hold of the rod. The more you point the left elbow to the ceiling, the more the left armpit will open. Let the front of the right arm be long. See how the pose develops? A couple of breaths in. Stay with the sensations. On an exhalation, release the left arm and bring it down. And now bring your dowel or mop head in front of you. So for the next pose, I want to bring more life into the upper chest. And so the upper chest, I'm talking about the areas around the collarbone and around the sternum. This area gets really tight, and it's so forgotten when the bad air quality is happening. I know myself, I had a dry cough for about a week. But I did these poses, drank lots of tea with honey, and it really helped. Bring your dowel in front of you, separate the hands, lift the dowel over the head, and bring your attention to the upper chest. Bring the attention to the collarbones, and see if you can create any amount of space, both vertically and horizontally, in the upper chest. Take the back of the skull back to the back wall just a little bit, just like when we had the stick along the spine. Exhale, release. Now take your stick and place it behind you like so. I'm going to turn around so you can see what it looks like from behind. I have the stick at the very bottom of my shoulder blades. So it's not down by the sacrum,
it's not down by the kidneys, and it's not way up either. It's right in the center, right by the shoulder blades. And then I have my palms right underneath the bottom. My palms, my fingertips are curled and relaxed, just like when we did child's pose to the side. Mountain pose. So in Iyengar Yoga, we use props mindfully. We don't just use props to use props. But here we're using the dowel to see if we can get extra opening in the upper chest. I feel quite a difference than when I'm doing mountain pose without it. Okay, keep holding the stick, fingertips relaxed, and this time we're going to do Warrior Two, holding the stick. And I'll be mirroring you. Mountain pose. Step the feet wide. Point the toes forwards. So for Warrior Two, it's a bit wider of a stance than what we would use for triangle pose. Turn the left foot in, right foot out, heel to arch alignment between the front foot and the back foot. Externally rotate both legs. Dig the left heel in and press the right big toe down. Create a stable base. On an exhalation, as you're pressing the left heel into the floor, bend the right leg towards a 90-degree angle. No more than a 90-degree angle. And then keep the lift in the chest using the dowel. Warrior Two. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, come up. Toes forwards. Second side. Turn the right foot in, left foot out. Heel to arch alignment. Dig the right heel into the floor. Press the left big toe into the floor. Think about that. Left heel digs into the floor and the right big toe presses in. How stable do you feel in your feet? Now bend the left leg towards a 90-degree angle. Keep the lift in the chest that you've created with the dowel and bend towards a 90-degree angle. Yes, that's it. Come on. Excellent. Straighten the leg. Point the toes forwards. Mountain pose. Let's do it again together. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior pose. You can either use the dowel, your stick, or not. And if you choose not to use it, see if you can compare the difference of how you're feeling in the upper chest. Warrior 2. To the right. Mountain pose. Turn to the side and place your stick at the very front of the mat and step towards the back of your mat. And place the left palm on top of the stick first and the right palm on top of it. Step far away. Keep the legs straight, arms in line with the ears. And look for an extension of the spine. Look for extension along the side
sides of the waist. To safely come out of the pose, walk towards the stick. This time you'll place your right palm on top of the stick and your left palm on top. Step back. Straight legs, arms in line with ears. Long sides of the waist. Long spine. To come out of the pose, walk towards the stick. And you can place the stick down to the side of your mat. Get your 2 blocks handy. Place them in front of your mat and make them even. We're going to do upward facing dog with the blocks, and we're using the blocks today so with the extra height we can focus on getting more opening in this area of the upper chest, the sternum and the collarbones. Place the heel of your hand on the blocks so that the crease of the wrists are even. And come to a kneeling position on your mat. If you're sensitive on the knees, you can place a towel across the mat so that the knees are comfortably padded. Extend the right leg back and extend the left leg back. And what I really want you to notice in upward facing dog is that the chest is in front of the arms. Oftentimes I see the chest way back here. And that prevents a really healthy back bend from happening. So thread. You can see the black part of my shirt. The torso is in front of the blocks and my thighs are lifting. You can have the tops of the feet on the floor, or you can curl the toes under. Take the middle back in. Strengthen those legs. Lift the quadriceps up. Extend through the back of the heels. And on an exhalation, downward facing dog. It feels different with so much height. Exhale, come down. Let's do upward facing dog again. Again, what I want to stress is that my torso, the sides of my waist, are going to come in front of my arms. That's one of the key characteristics of upward facing dog. Urdhva, upward, mukha, face, svanasana. Urdhva, mukha, svanasana, upward facing dog. And it's really that action of the legs that we've been going through that helps create the healthy back bend and that opening in the upper chest. Let's play with it, okay? So I'm asking for 3 things. The hands are even on the blocks, the torso is threaded through the arms, and the tops of the thighs are lifting so those legs are straight. Really working the legs. If you need a little extra height with blocks, a second block by all means. If you don't ordinarily use a block, I invite you to try it for today because the purpose is just to get this extra opening. Let's do it. Thread the torso through. Right now, the tops of my feet are on the floor. That makes it a little harder for me to lift my thighs. When I anchor the toes underneath, it's easier for me to lift the thighs away from the floor, extend out through the heels, and lift the chest. And lift the chest. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale, release. There we go. Take the blocks away.
And we're going to sit on your mat. And we're going to come into Chatushpadasana. Chatushpadasana is four-footed pose, and it's a back bend. And again, we're doing it to bring extra life and vitality into the upper chest. Take your towel, your blanket, or your sheet, like I have, and you'll place that towel or sheet all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. Have a block handy. Lay down in the center of your mat. Bring the heels right in front of the buttock bones. Dig the heels down, just like we did in mountain pose earlier. And lift the hips. Lift the hips towards the ceiling. Now this middle back area, you can place your hand underneath it, if you will, and see if you can get that to gently lift away from the floor too. That part of the back often doesn't want to work. Come up onto the tops of your toes and place the block lengthwise along the sacrum. Keep the knees in line with the hips, so don't let the knees splay out to the side. Extend the arms out in line with the shoulders in a T position so that you feel an open quality in the armpits, just like we did before. Heavy heels. Keep the knees in line with the hips. Gentle abdomen. Length through the side waist. Opening through the armpit chest. To come out of the pose, come up onto the tops of the toes, remove the block, and gently lower yourself down. On an exhalation, turn to the right and sit on up. Come to an easy cross-legged position. If you sit a lot for work, sit on a blanket, whatever height you've got. Easy cross-legged position with the shins crossed, right shin in front. Inhale, lift the arms up, open the chest, lift the arms down. This time lift the arms up, face the palms towards the head. Exhale, turn to the right, left arm onto right knee, gentle twist. Release the arms, lift the arms, palms facing each other towards the head. Turn to the left, right arm to the top of the left knee, take the left arm back and gently turn to the left. Exhale, release, come to center. Let's do the child's pose to the side and see if that feels any different from when we started. Knees apart. Toes together, block in front. Thread the right arm through, curl the right fingertips. Take all the time you need here. You could stay here 2 to 3 minutes per side. Press the left fingertips down and coax the right side ribs so that they revolve to the left. Inhale, come up. Exhale, thread the left arm through, left ear to the block. And come on up. Shavasana. We're going to do a 2-block Shavasana to get more opening in the chest, since today's sequence is all about taking care of ourselves when the air quality is not very good. So you'll take your blocks like so on the mat. Take your blanket and place the blunt edge right on the edge of the block. And then sit in front of your 2 blocks. Consciously come down to a reclining position. Bend the knees, bring the buttocks forwards, and you'll come down onto the elbows first. The back of the shoulder blade, right where the mop handle was, is what's going to touch the back of the block. The back of the skull, we brought attention to the back of the skull when we were working with the dowel. Center the head, center the back of the skull on the middle of the block. So if you're tilting the head to the right, tilting the head to the left, make the correction you need. Extend the right leg, extend the left leg. Bring the arms to about a 45-degree position. Let the big toes move to the sides. Gently close the eyes from top to bottom. Take the attention within. Take a long, smooth, deep inhalation, and then take a long, smooth, deep exhalation so that you feel all of the stale air, any stale air, exiting your lungs. Let the rib cage soften. Let the ribs feel as if more space is being created between each one, as if there was a little bit of expansion, both vertically and horizontally. Curl the fingertips. On an exhalation, bend the knees. Stay here for a moment. On your next exhalation, roll to the right. Cradle your head in the right arm. And press yourself up to a seated position. I'm going to sit on my block so that I get a sense of height in my chest. Bring the palms into Anjali Mudra. Release the head to the heart. Release the back of the palms to the tops of the thighs. Lift the face and gently open your eyes. Thank you everyone so much for practicing together today. This sequence is a sequence to help your respiratory health on days where the air quality is not so good. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Any questions, please direct them to UC Davis Living Fit Forever. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Bye.